Welcome to the fucking show.
Welcome to the show. Have a seat, my nigga. Recline back. Real niggas making a speech.
Go to Atlanta and let's just say here a 2 Chainz song. Then I'll come up here to Ohio. Nobody's heard of 2 Chainz. Then a year later, the same song that I heard a year ago in Atlanta is up here now and it's going. So would that be considered would that make us like a followers market, or what type of market is Cleveland? Are we do we break artists, or because as I see, it looks like everybody is left. Kid Cudi left, Ray Jr. left. Was it Ray Jr.? Yeah. A lot of people left, blew up, and then started repping Cleveland. Because even MGK, he blew up in New York for real. Because he won the Improv 5 or 6 times in a row. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So then he got the eyes of Diddy and all them. You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Cleveland has that market to break artists, to make an artist hot?
Well, you got to kind of go back to the roots of the question. Every artist that you named that blew up, they are from Cleveland. So essentially, Cleveland, yeah, because no matter where they go, they always represent Cleveland. Like, Cleveland is always there. Cleveland has a market. You got to remember, 90% of the artists that you named had a huge fan base here. But in order for you to grasp that attention to those unknown markets, you got to kind of travel and network, and that's where you get the South by Southwest. That's where you get, the festivals. That's where you get the different shows. They go to New York, they go to Chicago, they go to Philly. That's where anything from any artist in any state, they have to go outside of their neighborhood to be able to gain other people's attention. In any city, especially like in Philadelphia, super dope artists. Always had dope, neo soul, dope hip hop artists, dope poets, but nobody knows them outside of Philadelphia. So if they come to Cleveland, or if they network with an underground DJ, guess what? They work travels. So same thing with Cleveland, the work has to be able to travel. The only thing that's a hindrance to Cleveland as far as marketing is clicks. That's the kind of negative connotation with Cleveland. Everybody's kind of cliquish versus working together. That's why you have Atlanta. They consider it to be like the music staple of the South, but you got to remember, Atlanta supports Atlanta first. Right, yeah, so you can't just leave from Cleveland and go to Atlanta and expect to blow up. Nobody from Cleveland ever left and went to Atlanta and just blew up out of the water. Atlanta's not having that. Atlanta want to see how much work you're going to put in, or how much you believe in yourself before we believe in you. Once you go out there and build your business and build your brand and you get the numbers, then you come back to us. We'll rock with you, but we take care of home first. Most places like Cleveland don't take care of home first. They too busy taking care of everybody else. You can't get a feature from a major artist and think that it makes you a major artist. It doesn't. You just pay for a feature, and if your paperwork ain't even right, you can't even put that song out. So, you got to look at it. It's a lot of politics behind everything. Mm-hmm. So Cleveland does have the capability to break artists. Like, we have independent radio stations. We have several stations, but we focus 2, Nerve DJs Radio and WNRV. We play independent artist music all the time, but we also have FM stations where they can get their spins. It's all about numbers. So if you get the numbers and your business game correct and get your marketing together, there's nothing to stop you. Like, we have so many tools available now that we didn't have 10 years ago. Right. It's pretty much impossible to blow. The only thing that can stop you from blowing now is you, but you have to have a quality product to put out there. It's just like dope. You give it to somebody, they got to test the waters with it and see if it's better than your competitions. If what you got is better than the competition, guess what? You the new man.
Facts. I'm glad you verified that. So, because I've heard a lot, that's what I've heard throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head, like you say. Atlanta supports Atlanta first. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland, we don't support Cleveland first. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is?
Well, because everybody here has had a lot of sub-markets. You got the people that's popular, and you got the people that's progressive. People that's popular, they kind of run in the same circle. They rather, look the look versus solidifying the brand. The whole thing is, if I look like $1 million, but I only got $100, like, how valuable are you? Right. You more of a liability than an asset to yourself and the culture, because you fooling people to make them think that you live in this lavish life that you don't. It's only on camera. So instead of putting yourself at the top of the food chain to say that I'm better than you, you and you, it's like saying, okay, if I'm the man up here, you should be the man up here, you should be the man up here, you should be the man up here. Or if not, at least let it be a set of stairs that everybody can climb up, because we all from the same city. Most people live around the corner from each other, but they'll support this person because he's popular, but they won't support this person even though he's a better lyricist. Yeah. You have to kind of break those stigmas, man. Those are the crabs in a barrel syndrome that we can't get away from. And unfortunately, That's a stigma everywhere, but we feel it more here because there's so much talent here that doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. So you kind of break that stigma, but unless you're willing to, go outside of the stereotypes or think outside of the box, it's going to be the same repetitive story from like the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and so on and so forth.
So I've heard this saying where hard work beats talent that don't work hard.
That's true.
Like with a lot of artists that's talented, like from what I've seen, doing, radio and interacting with a lot of artists, a lot of artists that are highly talented don't put the money behind their craft. You know what I'm saying? Or don't, they say, I'm dope.
Don't invest in themselves.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas you may have an artist that has average skills, whether it's singing or rapping or comedy or whatever, but they mortgage the house.
Yeah.
Low. Is there some truth to that, or do you think that it's like a political thing more?
I think that relies upon the individual and their financial perspective. Every artist isn't blessed financially, that's blessed with a talent. And most of the doper artists that you find with the talent don't have the financial means to put themselves out there like that. So instead of connecting with the person with the money want to be a rapper too. So they're going to see you as their competition. They're not going to see you as, if you get on, we get on, but I'm willing to fund your dream so we can build our own, market our own territory.
Wow.
You're always going to be viewed as competition.
So it's like everybody got the Diddy, they want to be all in the
Well,
Diddy.
Well, no, you got to look at it from an organic standpoint.
Okay.
Some people have talents that's naturally. Some people have gifts. Some people just have the business sense to try to market their hobbies. That's the difference. You can go to an artist and who can come off the top of their head and just be consistent, getting an 8-hour battle and just be consistent. Where you got the guy who got to take 3 months to write one song or come up with one verse. At that point, that guy that got to write for 3 months for one song ain't trying to stand toe to toe with the guy that come off the top of his head. So,
Yeah.
I was going to say, one of the things that I've heard, I want to see if you've ever heard of it, ever heard it before, but the mentality I've always heard about the North is, North versus the South is, up North there can only be one king, where in the South it's more like, nigga, we can all be kings, we can all flourish. Like this up here is kind of like the king of like I got to be, like it can only be one, like the Highlander, but in the South it's kind of like, no, it ain't got to be one. We can all eat.
I've never heard that stigma before, but like I've always told people, there's more money than people. So, I mean, you got to figure out, which community you want to be a part of. You want to be a part of the money, you want to be a part of the people.
And that's the thing, man. I live by an abundance. They print money every day, so
Right.
there's no reason why, we all can't get money.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's, it's a bunch of people that's going platinum or having 1 million streams or whatever. It's people touring all the time.
Right.
A friend of mine told me there's a lot of artists that you probably never heard of making $100,000, $200,000 a year, doing their music or doing their craft, whereas the comedy, singing, what have you. It's
Right.
You can, being yourself, you can eat.
But you got to look at your circle too. 90% of your success is based upon the circle that you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by people that's always talking about other people and what they're doing and, such a negative energy, guess what? You're going to become a part of that negative energy and stagnate just like those people that surround you. But we surround ourselves with these people because we feel connected to them because they're our friends. These are the people we grew up with.
Facts.
These are the people, but they can be toxic as hell.
Facts.
But until you look at it from a different perspective, you're not going to realize that you'll become a toxic person too. Like, people can transform you just by being affiliated with them, man.
Yeah.
I think that's, 90% of people's, reason for feeling.
Energy.
Yeah,
Energy
energy
is
and
real.
perspective is everything, man. Everybody, we both can sit here and look at that wall and not see it the same. Everybody's perspective of what they see at that wall is going to be 3 different perspectives. You just got to figure out which one is going to, help take you along your way.
Help us as a group.
Right. So, what are some projects that you're working on this year?
Actually, I got a few projects that I'm working on this year. I got a series of EPs that I'm releasing. Actually, got an actual album I'm releasing this year. I got a major artist that I'm working on getting him pushed through. Another guy grew up with me, him, and another cat. We just formed a production house. And we're building a brand at Nerve DJs.
Is that with Harold?
Yeah, Harold is part of that too.
Yeah, they told me about that.
Shout out to HJS.
Shout out to HJS, shout out to Fee, shout out to D-Lo.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about,
One of the most beautiful people I know.
Yeah,
Period.
definitely, man. His soul is one of a kind, man.
Big homie.
Yeah, definitely. It's just like with the stuff that we doing with the stations. Like our numbers are out of the water. So, I tell everybody, every Monday every first Monday of the month, I do an indie artist spotlight. So indie artist spotlight basically takes the underdog artist, like the individual guy, the bedroom rapper, that might actually have something dope. And I do a whole 2-hour mix show, just only independent artist music, no majors. So it don't matter if it's good or bad. If it can be played, if I can mix it, I can make it work. Only ask them for 2 things, instrumental or a DJ service pack, instrumental acapella or 8-bar intro or 8-bar outro. So I can actually put it in the mix. You got to be able to make yourself marketable. That's 90% of being able to make it anywhere is being marketable. Just because you have talent doesn't make you marketable. You could be a great lyricist with a horrible producer. You could be a great producer with a horrible lyricist. You have to be able to connect the dots to figure out what's the weakest link versus what we can build to strengthen to make a marketable product. So, that's one day. That's over for any artist, and it's every first Monday of the month. And then second show is conversations where we talk to artists, have them come on the show. You're an upcoming guest on the show to come on there and just talk about your projects, your albums, things that you're doing, because we believe in supporting the artists as well as the brand. Because guess what? When you blow or when you're ready to get your money together and you need that promotional package, we want to be the people that you come to.
Right.
We want to show you, we've already showed you, you walk in the studio, you see the plaques, streaming, these are our label sent plaques, what I'm saying? It's like we working hard every day. So it's just one of those things where I tell people I don't sleep, I take naps. Because the business got to keep going, man. I don't have time to sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead, but in the meantime, I'm trying to lay the foundation for, those behind me.
Facts, for sure.
Facts.
Well, we definitely gonna make sure. I'm gonna definitely get all the information from you for the links for Mondays and everything. That way, when they see this interview, they have the material there to go to the links, to go to the website, to go and check everything out, and and be a part of the culture, man. Get their business together, because you official, and when you get knowledge like this, and when somebody like you dropping gems, you gotta take them and run with them for real, like honestly. And I really appreciate you being here with us. And I do have a couple more questions before I let you go.
Take all the time you need, brother. I'm here. I'm at your disposal. Absorb it while you're on here. Get it all.
Soak up this game.
Now, one of the questions I'm gonna have, which I think you might have already answered in so many words, but do you think that an independent artist or artist getting a record deal at this point in time would be feasible with all the options and opportunities that you have out here on the independent side?
Well, it all depends on what the artist's end game is. You either want to be signed to a deal so that